One of the concerns that people present to me is their legal status here in the U.S. They want to be able to work here legally and be here legal along with their children that are born here. One of the biggest fears that they express is being deported, being separated from their family, especially if they have U.S. citizen children here.
These individuals are just trying to make a better life. Many of them are taxpayers. Many of them are trying to get an education, to contribute to this country, to our economy. They've been contributing. Many of them have what we call identification tax numbers. They apply for that number to willingly pay their taxes.
I think what people need to know is that they're people just like them who wants a better life, who wants a good education for their children, who wants to be part of a culture, a community without being stereotyped and looked at, who just wants to climb that ladder of success like many of us want to do.
People think that immigrants are coming here to take all the benefits away from Americans. That's untrue. If a person is not a U.S., if they don't have any legal status, they are not eligible for food stamps or Medicaid or programs of that sort. So they're not here. They have to work for everything they get. And this is one of the barriers. The other barrier is education. Some works very many heavy hours a week to pay for their daily living. They don't have enough time to go to a school and maybe advance in their education. Through the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, we work with unaccompanied minors, which are youth who have come into the country unaccompanied, without an adult meaning, and they are placed, Homeland Security will get a hold of them and hold them until the sponsor is identified, who the adult they're going to meet is, to assure that they're safe and this is not a case of human trafficking. And when the sponsor is identified in the state of New Jersey, we work through the whole state of New Jersey to ensure that this is a good placement for this young person, and that whatever the list or the request or recommendations made by the Office of Refugee Resettlement and United States Conference of Catholic Bishops are met. For instance, this child may bring trauma, maybe they're running from violence in their countries, from gang recruitment, where they either join the gang or they're then a target of the gang. And some have been abused in their country, they've been abused on their journey here, and then we want to make sure they're not going to suffer more abuse when placed.
I have clients that come in and they come in with some pretty traumatic stories. And after listening to what they go through, it just tugs at my heart.
One of the things that gives me hope is to be able to speak to someone, and some people will reject it and say, no, people should not come into this country illegally. They shouldn't have come in the first place. But you always have that person that's listening and saying, well, what are we talking about? Children? What are we talking about? Victims? And then that human side of the person is moved. This can be that next conveyor of the message that I'm giving here today, that I am talking about daily. These are the folks we help, just giving that name or that offender, as people want to see them for coming in illegally, that face. When you present the real person to them, their challenges, their basic human just being as a person, it sort of opens up the ears and the eyes, and people start to, soften their hearts. That gives me hope, because I know that happens, and we know that we don't stop, and we have that approach. We have in-house knowledge of who we're helping. We wouldn't be doing this business if we knew that people are in danger. Children are not eating. Children are being abused and trafficked. We see this every day. This is what we work to prevent.